We begin the 7 o'clock hour with our continuing coverage of overnight breaking news. South Metro Fire is investigating a crash between a car and a light rail train.
This happened on the tracks near C470 and I-25 near the County Line station. 9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez has been on scene all morning long. Brianna, it looks like you've moved to a closer spot.
Much closer than we were like an hour ago, really, when we first arrived here around 5:45 this morning. So I'm going to just show you what we're seeing here on our end. So this is closer to C470. If you're heading eastbound into northbound I-25, you are seeing that train right here. We cannot see the vehicle from this angle, but my photographer Joe Swanson, he was actually walking around and he saw some tire marks going down the slope. And then that's when that vehicle and that RTD train collided. So I do want you guys to take a look at your screen right now, because South Metro Fire, they actually provided some really good pictures and videos to show you. So this all happened just before 2 this morning near C470 and I-25, so close to where I am. Fire crew said that the car involved drove off the overpass and landed on the track. So we know the car is pinned between the train and a wall. The operator and passenger were not injured, but we're on the train, and according to officials, the person in that car has died. So back out here live, you are seeing that train. That train has not moved since we first arrived here, again, around 5:45 this morning. On the other side, we have seen RTD crews just walking up and down the highway trying to figure out exactly how this all unfolded, and really we have a lot of questions this morning. We're still waiting to hear back from Lone Tree Police, South Metro Fire, Colorado State Patrol, as well as CEDA, because everyone was involved in this investigation this morning. So we know South Metro Fire, they're supposed to come back out once the investigation is over. That way they can take that train off the tracks and then hopefully get back RTD back up and running. So back out here, you can see the road is back open along C470 and I-25, but that wasn't the case about 2 hours ago. We know they opened up about 45 minutes ago, so I'm going to toss things over to Erica Lopez, because Erica, it's not causing a traffic impact, but it is going to cause impacts when it comes to RTD.
Absolutely. So that is what we're still dealing with this morning, Brianna. We're grateful to have that ramp back open for folks able to travel along C470 to I-25, but as far as RTD is concerned, the 2 lines, R and E, are being impacted. Shuttle buses are replacing them this morning, so make sure to give yourself a little bit of extra time. As far as other issues go on our roads, live look from Sky 9 this morning. They're over a crash we've been following on northbound 225 right around Iliff. We do still have the crash working on that left-hand side of the interstate this morning, and it has been causing delays. So I want to switch you over to CDOT and kind of show you what things are looking like behind it. So the crash is right up here. Our CDOT camera is zoomed out, but you can see the delays on northbound 225. This is northbound 225 and Parker Road. We have pretty heavy delays back to Parker because of this crash up ahead that we were just looking at from Sky 9. We also have southbound 225 delays at Parker Road for folks headed toward I-25, which is pretty typical for this time of the morning. Let's bring you over now to our map. I want to talk about and show you the travel time impacts that we're seeing. So we do have about a 14-minute backup on northbound 225, actually just dropped to an 11-minute backup, 21 minutes in total for your drive between I-25 and I-70, but a lot of congestion between Parker Road and Iliff. That's where the worst of it is going to be. Only a 5-minute slowdown on that southbound side, so not as bad as it normally is for this time of the morning. And then westbound I-70 drive slowing by about 8 to 9 minutes for your commute between E470 and 76. We want to get a check of your forecast now with senior meteorologist Chris Bianchi.
All right, thanks so much, Erica. And we've got some of those mountain wave clouds. That the view there from Lookout Mountain, those kind of distinct mid-level clouds, a lot more bark than bite with those clouds. We'll have them around most today, but it won't stop us from getting up into the low to mid 70s. That is a good 10 to 15 degrees above average for your April the 8th. And that radar, quiet right now. It'll stay quiet for most of the day today. We'll see some of those clouds kind of thicken on up, but we'll, again, still get those temperatures on up into the low to mid 70s. There will be some elevated fire danger, and later this week, we'll get even warmer. In fact, much warmer than what we're looking at for today. Details in a few minutes, but full forecast.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, this morning we are trying to get more answers for you about a SWAT operation at an apartment complex in Loveland. Just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, Loveland police posted on X about a large police presence in the area of Autumn Lake Apartments on East 23rd Street, just off of Lincoln Avenue. Police said that this was part of a planned SWAT operation. Authorities were serving an arrest and search warrant at that complex. Loveland police still have not posted an update this morning. We still have questions, of course, about this operation, like what the arrest warrant was for, what SWAT teams were looking for, and if they took anyone into custody. We are reaching out to Loveland Police right now to get more information on this. Once we do, we're going to pass that along to you.
An update this morning, GOP Representative Anna Paulina Luna says she's reached an agreement with Speaker Mike Johnson in their standoff over allowing proxy voting for new parents, which paralyzed the House last week. It's something Colorado's Brittany Pedersen has also been pushing for. Luna posted on social media over the weekend saying she and Johnson have agreed to formalize a centuries-old procedure called live dead pairing. It allows members to vote by proxy when they're unable to be physically present to vote, including those who are new parents, bereaved, or experiencing emergencies. Johnson sent members home nearly 1 week ago after suffering an embarrassing defeat when a group of 9 GOP rebels led by Luna tanked a procedural vote.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has pledged to eliminate his nation's trade deficit with the U.S. That happened during a meeting with President Trump at the White House yesterday. Netanyahu also teased growing support for a Trump-backed plan for Gaza that would involve Palestinians leaving the Strip. Trump said that he was open to making new trade deals on a country-by-country basis, but made it clear that there is no plan to put the tariffs on pause during those negotiations. The president also announced his administration has started talks with Iran involving the top levels of their government.
The U.S. Supreme Court threw out an order that opens the door for more planes to be filled with deportees headed to an El Salvadorian prison. A federal judge had blocked the removal of men allowed to be members of a Venezuelan gang under the Alien Enemies Act. But yesterday's ruling says the Trump administration deportations can proceed as long as the detainees are allowed due process, time to challenge the charges against them. The Venezuelan plaintiffs have argued that deportations under the Alien Enemies Act allow officials to target immigrant groups on a whim.
The U.S. aid has canceled all remaining contracts for humanitarian aid in Afghanistan. The terminations are among dozens sent by the agency over the weekend, and this all comes as the Trump administration moves to shut down U.S. aid by July. The now canceled contracts help to cover food assistance, clean drinking water, hygiene items, and medical services. The United Nations says roughly half of Afghanistan's population needs humanitarian assistance. The canceled programs were reportedly deemed to be, quote, inconsistent with the administration's priorities. U.S. aid also canceled its remaining humanitarian aid work contracts for Yemen.
The Pentagon is considering a proposal to withdraw thousands of troops from Eastern Europe. Experts warn this could cause alarm with NATO allies and embolden Russia. The troops were deployed in 2022 by the Biden administration to strengthen the countries bordering Ukraine after the Russian invasion. The numbers are still being discussed, but the proposal could remove half of the forces sent by Biden.
New this morning, Prince Harry made a rare appearance in court to argue that he was unfairly treated when stripped of UK security detail. Harry lost his government-funded protection in 2020 after he stepped down from his role as a working member of the royal family and moved to the U.S. A high court judge ruled last year that the decision to provide security to Harry on a case-by-case basis was not irrational or unjustified. But attorney Sahid Fatima argued that a group that evaluated the Duke of Sussex's security needs failed to follow its own process and perform a risk management assessment.